Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Decisions Lunch and Learn. I'm going to be your host for today, Gregory Goldston, and I want to talk about some of the things that we got going on first before we jump into our question portion of this, which is the majority of this. So, check out our YouTube channel. Always got new content being added there. Highly recommend taking a look at it. Also, take a look at the Decision Solutions Marketplace. We have some cool accelerators there that you can take a look at and import into your environment to test, to integrate with, to mess around, figure out how they work for your own environment. It's a great place for resources for either reverse engineering or implementation purposes. And then, of course, we have the product roadmap back. I know we talked about this a few times already, but you'll want to go to decisions.com/events if you want to take a look at that for seeing what is coming up in the future. And then the big one right here, Decision Submersed. This will be running as a online submersed for May 5th through May 8th, and you can register at decisions.com/events. In this particular submersed, we are not going to be going over the same project as we normally have. We will be using a different project that is a little bit more advanced, deals with some API integrations, some runtime selection, some asynchronous processing. You'll get to see all of that by attending this submersed. So highly recommend taking a look at it. All right. And now that that's covered, it is time to start taking questions. So I'm going to move over to my decisions environment. And while I do that, feel free to post in the Q&A. Pardon me, I'm not sure why it's not moving the way I want it to, but that's not a big deal. This will be a-okay either way. Okay, moving it now. All right, y'all can see my environment, right? Yeah, all right, cool, cool, cool. This looks good. Awesome. All right, I will start taking questions now. Feel free to post those. I need to get my attendees list back because every time I switch screens, it gets rid of it for some reason. I couldn't tell you why. All right, while I'm waiting on some questions, by the way, I would like to go over something that I have been working on, which is demonstration of the Google Cloud module. So, the Google Cloud module is a module that you can find in Decisions by navigating to Administration, Features, and then you can see all the different modules that we support in our latest released version of 9.8, which you can check under About and see that. So, I've installed the Google Cloud module right over here. And this is going to give you access to a variety of different Google Cloud services, not just the services for housing stuff like the storage steps, but a lot of other stuff. And I'll continue potentially talking about that later, but I see we have a hand raised from Alex. So let me let you talk real quick. And there we go. All right, you should be able to talk now.
Yeah, hi there. I thought I submitted a question when I registered, but that notwithstanding, the difficulty I'm having is I have a report viewer control on the dashboard page,
Okay.
and I want to connect it to a folder timeline part. And I mean, I've done this many times, and but I keep copying the previous one and just adjusting it. And this time I decided, since the original one was written in 617 and now we're at 819, that I would start afresh. And I can't get the URL to change parameters when I change the line that I'm selecting in the report viewer web part.
Okay, so let's make sure that I understand this correctly. So you have the report.
Yep.
You have a set of users, and this timeline is going to update per the selection on the report.
Yep.
Okay. So each report's going to pass out information to this timeline here. So we want to update this from a selection bus name, I would assume.
Yep. Did that and did that gave it a name.
All right, sounds good. So we got a name, and then our report over here. We will pass it out. Where is that? It's not under results, right? Where did we put that in? That actually might be in the report viewer itself. Hold on. Not get report ID from selection bus. No. Where are we passing that out? Let me check real quick.
Like there is a there in the report that I've created, like I'm one of the columns is what I want to pass out. So there is a configuration on the column, I think, to do something.
All right.
So if I select the column in the report, uh, there's this thing called send data as filter change. And,
Yep. All right, so you'd be pulling from that. So pick the column. I'm gonna grab I'll do email address just because it's gonna be more, viable. Send data as filter change right here. Pass
okay,
that out. Filter
and I
change
give it a
source.
name.
Right, same sort of name, right?
Yep,
No spaces, all that sort of stuff. So
yep.
timeline right here, pass that out. All right, and then right here, get report, update data from selection bus on timeline. And then, interesting. Let me see here. And also, just so that we're on the same page here, which version did you upgrade from again?
Okay, so I'm currently doing this in 8.19.
8.19. Okay.
Yeah. But the original one that I built out that I use as a model was from like 6 dot something or other.
Okay. And after upgrade, it broke?
No, no, it's just no, like as I say, when I create a new flow, what I usually do is I just copy components from what I'd previously done and modify them, like change the report source or this sort of stuff. But since I'm so many versions away, I thought I would start from scratch.
Mm.
So basically, I'm building everything new as an 8.19 component and not a copy of something that had been built in a previous version.
All right. All right. Yeah, let me I know this is not hard to do. It's not coming to my mind immediately, the minutia of this. So we're actually going to run this here real quick and we'll demonstrate a little bit of our decisions DocBot capabilities. So yeah, create a new page, horizontal timeline, configure timeline, property open behavior section, check get folder ID by selection bus, and then define selection bus. Nope, not the horizontal folder timeline. Well, it tried.
So yeah, I'm not using I'm using the folder timeline part.
Right, this part, not the folder horizontal timeline. Right?
Right.
Yeah. The response was giving us the wrong one. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
so what's that thing that you were looking at? Like, is that something that's available to everyone? That Dart thing?
Yes, it is. Dart, when you click on the little support chat button on the left in V9, it might be on the other side
Oh,
in
so it's
V8.
it's V9. Oh, it's
No, it is not. So we introduced it in V9, but we went back and retroactively added this capability to all versions from version 7 and above.
oh
So you
wow.
have access to this.
Oh cool.
Yeah, highly recommend taking a look at it. Let me get this built out for you. I don't recall why I can test this real quick and see what's going on here, but this needs to pass this out. I actually need an integer column, don't I? Right? Because if I'm passing out a percentage here, folder timeline gauge. Yeah, let me look up the documentation on this step real quick. Just make sure I understand. Because my other thought is it possible that you are passing a string into a decimal or integer type, and that's what it doesn't like about it?
So yeah, I'm passing out like a UI UUID.
Hmm.
So and again, this works. I've got tons of stuff where this is working. Like it's basically it's passing out it's passing out the folder ID, right? Because that's what I want it to do. I want it to show the contents of that folder. So on the one side, you have you have a list of folders, and as you click through them, you get to go and see what has happened. They're all flow data extension types kind of thing. So you get to
Mm,
see all of the states that it has passed through and who's done them, and that sort of stuff. So
okay,
it's all based on the folder ID.
that makes sense, and it'll give that percentage. So I actually want to pass the ID of that particular folder. So I need actually a different set to test this real quick. Give me just a moment. I'm going to create a case entity here real quick. Let's give it name. Let's give it age, and let's give it favorite color. Just have 3 different fields here. Set this to an integer. Call this Alex test. Save that. That's fine. We'll create some of those in a flow in just a second here. That runs. So we have started, completed. Let's add a state. Let's call this in the middle here. Move that to the left. We got 3 different states here. Fantastic. Everything gets created in a start state, mill state. And now let's go into our Alex test. We're going to create a flow just to make these real quick. All right. So make cases. And then under here, under all steps is where we have this categorized now. So user defined type, case entity, Alex test, create Alex test, drop that in. We only need one for the report to work. So let's do that. I'd actually prefer to have 2.
Well, you kind of want two because you want to see it move from one to the other.
Exactly. So let's go constant here. Oh, wrong one. Build data. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. All right. Favorite color. Let's go with cobalt. And
Oh, I
then let's
wish
go.
wish I were 22.
So do I, man. All right, what do we got here? Folder description doesn't matter. We can ignore that. Folder name does matter. I need that. I'll call this test case. And then parent folder ID, where do I want to store these? Let's just put these in one of our, oh, wrong one. I like this being constant now, and then you can just pick from here. Store cases. I guess I made that for a previous customer last time. Cool. All right. Save, debug, runs fine, no problems. Let's change some of those values. It's 33. This person likes emerald, and we'll just change this to another
Yeah,
person
we got like
here.
good colors,
I like mixing it up, not just the standard blue,
like
pink,
red, green, blue, yellow. What up?
Exactly. I don't know. It's important to expand one's color palette, I guess. Anyways, let's all right, we got our test cases here. These are both yours, and then let me set the state of one of them to middle so we can see that change. All right. Now we're in here. Go back. Let's go to our report page viewer right here. Change the report. We're going to actually create a new one. Report. This will be Alex report. Do that. Add our source. User defined. Case entity. Grab that. Add the field. Where's our field? Let's put oh, we need folder ID actually. So age, entity ID, which is the same thing. Favorite color. WAD name as well. Why not? All right. I like moving these around. I just like having this one at the front here. Entity ID. Go to that column. Pass it out. Send out as filter change. We'll set that to timeline again. Save it. Exit over here. Timeline still selected. Let's save it. Let's see what's going on. All right. Saved, saved, public folder, create folder, add it. This will be test dashboard. No description needed right now. Right click, add page, select it, and save it. Click on it. Oh, didn't mean to click on that. My bad. That's not a good idea. Yeah, it's not updating. That's what I was thinking. Okay. Report viewer and report viewer page and timeline equals. Do. So that's report ID being passed in, and that's not updating. Interesting. Why are we having 0%? Folder timeline gauge. All right, hold on. Let me check one thing on my end real quick. See if I can figure out something on this. This will take just a moment.
No worries.
All right. Go back. That didn't help at all. Okay. I don't see anything there. Not a problem. Let's pull that up and let's pull this up again. All right. So, folder timeline gauge. You know what? I'm going to try that again. If this doesn't work, I'm just going to build this out for you. And after I send you the project, I'll give you details on what needs to be done if this is not updating with the proper context as we would need it. Because something is not being passed along correctly is the issue. Like this folder timeline gauge is going to be looking for that particular field as we know. And for some reason, it's not recognizing user
But
folder ID.
so when you click on the different rows, does the value of the timeline in the URL, is it changing at all?
So on the top, yes, the timeline equals and it changes the ID.
Okay, so that's not working on mine.
Oh,
That's, I think, what my issue is because I've got the connection, but it only connects to the first one, and then it won't change because the URL never changes. Like,
this is on 819. Interesting.
yeah. And again, it's like just being built out from new because I've got ones that I've got in production from that have been upgraded from previous versions that are still working and the URL updates properly. So I'm just wondering what is the property that is controlling the fact that the report viewer is not updating the URL with the latest value kind of thing.
Interesting. So that's going to be all right. So this is going here. Port is here. We click on the column. Column is passing this out. We confirmed that this is changing. So this gets outputted here. Let's go back to our page, see what's going on here. Port viewer, added that. Not get report ID, initially visible, initially enabled, navigation, filter. Column filtering is enabled. Report update for folder. Auto select first row, get parameters from page, get parameters from page. Hmm. Let me look. Yeah, because that is definitely an interesting issue. Do you have any other reports on that page that pass out the same name?
No.
Okay, so it's not that data overwrite. That was the first thing I want to check. Navigation bar is visible. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Show report selection. Show report selection. Okay, so that's going to let you actually show which one is. Save report selection for current folder. Hmm. Button. Use design. Allow edit. Ignore that. That doesn't matter. Items across intersect. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Settings basic. Yeah, that doesn't matter either. Okay, interesting. Yeah, the last thing I'm going to check is to make sure that there isn't something specific to 819 that involves that. Okay. Do you happen to know if that's 819.1 or 819.0?
I can find that out post haste
Yeah.
system.
And while you do that, I'm going to check on our release notes for version 8,
Yeah, so
819.1.
it's 8.19.1.72971.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Report filter change. Let's see if there's anything here. Issue with the report designer. We'll click now. This would be caught very quickly. So this would be something that would be like fixed. An instance for not loading deleted users from an NT instance. User report filter, SQL-based filter constants, user filter not working. That's not it. Filter change source name being sent from one report seems to be respected by reports on other pages. That's not it. Nope. 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 Pass along. Nope, 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 nope. That's not it. 819 was as DT drill down report, not respecting filters on pages that we're in. Well, no, that wouldn't be it because it's not about respecting filters. It's not passing out in the first place, so that wouldn't be it. And then, sir, no, that's not it. No, no. Okay. I'm not seeing anything documented on this, so I do think it might be a configuration problem, not a break in the environment, which is much better to hear, honestly. So
Right.
let me. I think the best path forward, because I can't see your instance because we upload these to YouTube, would be to submit a support ticket and see
Okay.
if we can figure out why it's not functioning specifically in your environment. It could be
Yeah.
something simple, but with how many different controls there are, being able to not jump in and see that might, like just having someone pop in could make this a 15-minute fix, you know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have the email for support?
Yep.
All right, cool. Highly recommend. Sorry I couldn't provide anything additional here because it looks like it's functioning inside of a report source here fine.
Yeah, yeah, no worries.
All right. I'm going to go on to our next question then, which is from Manal. I'll let you talk. And that question is there any way to complete assignments from Query Editor rather than manually going to My Task and completing each task? We have about 1,100 tasks that are abandoned, and we are trying to figure out an efficient way to complete them. The answer is yes. Yes, you can. You can absolutely complete assignments in that manner, or rather, mark them as completed. So let me navigate to the area that we want to go to here. So you've got a bunch just in the background, right? And let me get a little bit more clarity on your
Mhm.
problem. Is the problem that you don't want all of the assignments listed in inboxes here? Or is it the fact that on the back end, there are a bunch of assignments that are hidden from the user that just exist there?
So what happened is like in 2024, these assignments, so we had like a security group and the person left. So the assignments were still getting assigned to that person, but nobody ever completed them since she was out of the company. So now we come back and we have all of them, but that task needs to be completed so the flow can be completed.
Hmm.
But what I did, I also ran a query from the query editor, and it did kind of like, so I did like, hey, if it's complete update and set is completed to true, it did made them completed, but in the when you go to my task, they're still there.
Yep. I'll explain exactly why that
Mm-hmm.
is. That'll take me like 2 seconds to do. The part I'm trying to figure out is if running this query will indeed complete the flow. That's the part I'm not
Mm,
sure about. But let me show you at least to answer that first part of the question. This part is
gotcha.
very simple.
Okay.
So let's go to this should be a designer folder. Where's a query editor? There we are. All right, cool. So select all from entity underscore assignment. Okay, let me move this over here. The Zoom bar is getting in the way. There we go. All right, so here are all of our assignments that are sent out. Now, in the assignments, there are three fields that track progress of these assignments. There's is assigned, which determines whether or not a user actually has been sent this assignment. This is almost always true, even for completed assignments. And there are two other fields that are really important. There's completed and is current. All right. Completed is what determines whether the assignment is actually listed in a completed state and changes the actions available on that assignment based upon whether it's completed or not. Is current determines its visibility in the inbox. So by setting is current to false, it will hide this assignment from the inbox after it's been completed. So it's both of these fields that need to be updated in conjunction with each other to have an assignment marked as completed, to change the actions on it, and disappear from the inbox.
Okay, that makes sense. So, okay,
Yep.
that's why
So
it's showing up in the my task still because I didn't took out the is current.
correct. And if you tried to right click that assignment, you would see that all the actions that they normally have are gone, and that's because completed is set to true, even though it still exists there.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
So is current is normally true, complete is
Hmm.
false, and then you'll just flip flop those. Now, as far as actually killing the flows, obviously there's the manual way to do that, right? Like you understand, you go to
Hmm.
here, I'll just for demonstration purposes of other people on the call, I'm going to go down here. System tools, you go to flow management, and here it's going to show all of your pending assignments. You can right click it, end the flow, and clear the flow data. Um, I can look up if there is a safe bulk way to do this.
Gotcha.
Um,
Because what we have is like the email also go out when the whole process is complete, and we kind of want to just like, you know how user completes it and then it goes to the next task and then it goes through the whole process.
right, right. Yeah, I know what you're saying. So if I click on, let me find a better one here. Where's a good? Ah, here's a great one. All right, so
Mhm.
here's an assignment that got sent out. We have all the current date, right? So you can rerun advance. Yeah, yeah. So you can kill the flow entirely from here on these assignment steps. That prevents the chain of events. Like if it's the first assignment and it goes to the next person, next person, next person. Um, And then it looks like Jeremy is posting a good bit of advice here as well for the process form assignment step that allows you to complete the form and then the flow would progress. So that will also trigger it for completion, which is a flow step that you can run. Now the question becomes, is there a way to just kill all of those flows, right? Either via query or via a step. And the answer is possibly yes. I can take a look into that. Let's see here. Let's see. End assignment. So call it that.
And Greg, when you say end assignment, is it like completing them? Because there's only in our case they only complete like they acknowledge and there's a button says complete. Or do you mean like deleting them?
I so I'm doing this in conjunction with the query that we're running before. What I am trying to
Hmm.
accomplish now is because I am uncertain if that query ends the entire flow.
Gotcha.
And what I'm trying to do now is find a way to end all those flows that had the assignments, even though those assignments are now marked as complete and is current as false. So it's a twofold problem that we're trying to deal with. One, end the assignments, mark them as complete. Two, kill the flows. You can do that manually through the dashboard, but the question is, how do we do that automatically, right? How do we go
Hmm.
through all assignments where assigned person is this user and then end that? I might talk with our devs about that because it's something that affects the back end, and I don't want to necessarily mess around with that without having a little bit of a guide. I kind of have an idea of what I'm trying to do, but I just want to get some clarity. But yeah, you can run, mark all those assignments as completed through the query editor, and then here, this one I don't need. So I can go here. The assignment is called, where is it? That's the flow ID. First name started. Do I have an assignment step? Parent flow, step name, user, parent flow ID. All right. So step new. I can't figure it out. It's the demo project, customer contracts. Oh, it's the demo project. I can figure that. I can find that. So I am going to advanced end the flow entirely. Could not find data. Could not find flow data.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
that error too multiple times for the requests that are kind of old, or if you had any like you took out anything, I just keep getting that error, kill flow.
Interesting.
But I'm on 8.19. I mean 8.22, so I'm not sure.
Mm, I don't think that has to deal with versions. I think that's going to be something else. So this is the manual way to just complete it, right? You complete it down the path and then that gets rid of it. And now when I refresh, that's gone because that one's marked as complete. If we were to run the query again, you would see that and the flow would be gone. So how about we do this? Let's try and run the query, see if it completes the flow that's in, right? So we'll find one that matches one of these and we'll just do a quick test of that right now, okay? So solution of poll. Nope. 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 Aha. Run variable formula demo. This assignment form step. Perfect. Flow ID. Got it. All right. Now let's duplicate and run it in a. I didn't mean to pin that. How do I unpin? There we go. Duplicate. And now let's run our query editor and see if we can get a little bit of confirmation on how this works. Don't mind all the projects there. There are a lot. Let's go here. And we're going to find one that matches up. This will take just a few minutes. And Vitali is saying complete assignment will also complete the flow for that assignment. So using the complete assignment step will indeed do that. I can run that and make sure that we can just in that here. Notes, not looking for the notes. Where is assignment type? State change, flow tracking ID. Primary flow ID. Where is flow ID? I want it to be that odd one of, hold on. Flow ID X7M. I want that one real quick. So where flow ID. Like, let's see if we can find it. Ah, wow, that's fun. All right. X7M. Yep. Oh, we did that right. Interesting. So that's the flow ID of the step. Maybe that would be where is it? It may not be flow ID. Maybe it's main flow ID. Assignment start flow ID. Flow tracking ID, step tracking ID, primary. Let's try primary flow ID. If that doesn't work, then might do some testing. Nah, that's not running. Okay, interesting. This one's probably gonna give me an error then if I try to do this. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. User,
A lot of those steps take the flow tracking ID.
that is true. I've got parent flow ID right here. We can try that again. Run it. Got it. Here we go. Thank you very much. All right. Notes, cancel flow execution. True, true is current false. All right. So this one's already listed as completed, even though it's still in there. I wonder why this one's listed as completed while others are not, even though it's still showing up there. Let me look into that a little bit more. Yeah, all right. So Vitali is confirming what I was concerned about, which is using the query editor is a bad idea because it will not send the change event for the entity. So yeah, that may not be the best way to complete the flows that you want. We're probably going to want to go with your complete assignment and then maybe a combination of like canceling flow executions as well. So let me look into that for you, Manal,
Hmm.
and see what the best sort of layout would be for something like that. But yeah, we're probably going to be looking for something here. I'll pull up the step real quick. By the way, we're in 9.8. That's why everything looks like this. It's kind of cool. All right. If it's not here, complete assignment and other flow. I've seen people use that before. Complete substate. And if we're not seeing it show up here, then we're just going to go under integration, internal service, drag this over and see if we can find it in here. Let's look first for the flow I have a feeling this is a flow execution. Extensions, get flow state, get result, clear flow, cancel flow. Yeah, there might be a way to do this here. Flow tracking ID. You fetch that from your list of queries, right? So you can query it, select the flow tracking ID of that particular assignment, and we might be able to just cancel the flow this way. We can give that a test real quick. Let's go to our folder right here. Here's our flow tracking ID. Grab that over here, pass it in. Let's see if this works. And this is on, which one did I click on? Run variable rule form demo number 38. So I'll be able to scroll down and find it again. Let's see if this runs. Debug it. Does it find it? It found it. All right, let's refresh. Let's go down to 38 again. Yeah, 38 is now this. Yeah, our ID is gone. Yeah, so it canceled that flow right away. So that canceled the flow. That may not cancel the assignment. We may need a combination of the two. Like I mentioned, this is a two-part problem. Cancel the assignments, cancel the flows housing the assignments. But it looks like this step would be a good way to start canceling these flows. And remind me, you're on version 8, right?
Yes, 8.22.
Okay. So yours is going to look a little bit different. You're going to want to go to integration, internal services, and then you're going to have a list of services. In version 9 and above, we've consolidated these all into a single step, and you select the service name and method name from there. But in your case, you're just going to see separate steps here.
Got it. Let me.
Yep. So you'll look under the flow execution services inside of the internal services dropdown. And then from there, you should be able to find it.
Okay, yeah, mine looks really different. So you said under integration, internal services.
Right. Integration, internal services, and you should see a lot more than just this one step like I see here.
Yes, I see. And then you said, which one do I go in under? So there's
Flow
a
execution service.
flow execution
Yeah.
service.
This is just for the flow execution. This is not for the assignment. So there's also an assignment service. I'll let you cancel these as well. But you have complete assignment and you have process form assignment steps, which are both different ways that you can complete those assignments via a step rather than a query.
Okay, got it. So I'm under like flow execution service, and then I do see it. Oh, it just crashed. Okay, Lord have mercy. And then which one do I get? Okay, so there is get account permission, get action by. Which step do I choose under the flow execution service? I am so sorry. There is
I
so
think it's
many
called
steps.
cancel flow.
Cancel flow.
There's a method name, right?
Okay, I see. Okay, I got it. That makes sense. Thank you
Cool,
so
cool.
much. I am so sorry. I was
No
like, where did it
worries.
go? Okay.
Now, I do want to mention, let me
hmm
still run this by the devs just to make
Okay.
sure that there's not an ideal order to this, like maybe running assignments first and then flows, or flows then
hmm
assignments, vice versa. So let me talk with them. I'll send you a message by the end of the day on my findings, whether I get a concrete answer or not. But that's going to be the route that you'll want to take just to make sure everything's still running smoothly in your environment.
Gotcha. That would be great. Thank you so much, but this helps too. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty. So I do not see any more questions after that, and thank you, Jeremy and Vitali, for the assist. Okay, so I'll go back to that Google Cloud demo and give it a few more minutes. If I don't see any more questions in that time, we are just going to end it early. So, Google Cloud. We installed the Google Cloud module. Always want to add it as a dependency, right? In V9, you always want to declare dependency to modules. In V8 and below, you don't have to worry about that. They just automatically are available. But for V9, you declare the dependencies inside of configuration dependencies, and then I can choose what modules I want to use, or other projects for that matter. So after that's done, You get access to 6 types of Google Cloud steps. You have the admin steps, the BigQuery steps, the document AI steps, the identity steps, the storage steps, and the translation steps. All right. So over here, when you click any one of these steps, you can drag over integration, Google Cloud, not Google. And then you can just drag over one of these steps. I'll show kind of the storage steps here. If I wanted to list the buckets in a project, I would specify the project ID that I'm looking for, and then I have to drop down JSON credentials, all right? So these JSON credentials are actually set up inside of the system settings. And I'm going to go to that right now so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. We'll save this real quick. Under the system settings, there's going to be a Google Cloud settings that gets created as soon as you install this module, regardless of where you declared it as a dependency or not. If we go in here, you create the credentials and you typically want to use the JSON file. So how this would work is you simply give it a name, drag in the JSON file, which would be fetched from your Google Cloud service, and then pass it in here. Our documentation covers kind of what this looks like as well. So I'm just going to pull that up because it makes a lot of sense to show that. So if you go to the Google Cloud module right here, and then you use a JSON file, it's going to give you an example text of what you'd expect to see. You just leave service account as is, specify the project ID, private key ID, private key, all of this sort of stuff, and then of course a list of scopes. So it authenticates via an auth token, or sorry, auth URL rather. Yeah. Get the token, authenticate from there, and then you can connect to your Google Cloud services. Here's where you actually find inside of Google Cloud. You're going to want to go to the keys, add the key, and then you can create it as a JSON type. Why do you hide some methods that are available in libraries that you use? For example, in a library of JSON, I guess Newtonsoft, there's a method to make XML from JSON. So you're saying in the Newtonsoft library you can't find one of the methods. I was not aware of method hiding, but I can take a look. All right, so integration, .NET libraries. We're on a .NET library method, and we're going to pick Newtonsoft, right? So, ooh, okay, hold on. ASP.NET Core, Signal R. Let's go with the JSON right here. Class names, there's only one class name to choose from. Create serializer settings. So you're saying that underneath here, I'll unmute you real quick just so we can talk about this. Where are my people? Here we go. All right, so what you're saying is that when you go to these .NET libraries and then start specifying methods to run, that some of these are hidden that would typically be in the Newtonsoft library?
Yes, so if you go to Newtonsoft page and see documentation, there are lots of methods that could be useful.
Interesting. Let me take a look. I'm going to be honest. I am not sure how they get soft here as a non-dev myself. I'm just going to go and Signal R is version supported. Okay. Yeah. And then can check that from there. Yeah, so a library for JSON. You're saying you guessed Newtonsoft method to make an XML from a JSON.
It could be
Interesting.
different library.
It might not be Newtonsoft, is what you're saying.
Yes, I'm not sure which one has that method, but in version 8, I was able to find that. And when I export that flow from version 8 to version 9, it still works. So it's just a hidden method.
Interesting. So you just can't find it in the toolbox anymore. Interesting. I see. Do you happen to remember the path? Because I know that this is, converts kind of closely, but I'm sure under .NET libraries you'd have a different list than what I see here.
If you give me a second, I'll
Yeah,
try to
yeah,
find
no
that.
rush. Yeah, I'm curious as well, because if I'm asking questions of the devs, I'm gonna need to give them specifics. So yeah, no rush on that. Method to make XML from JSON. Don't we have a convert object? You know what? I'm gonna look at something real quick. I wonder. I doubt it's in here, but this would be kind of cool if it was. Do we have something like that in our modules? I'm going to say the answer is probably no. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything here.
So it's in Newtonsoft.json convert, and the method name is deserialize X node.
All right. So Newton. So if I search Newtonsoft, it doesn't even show up with that micro. What'd you say it was called again? Newtonsoft what?
.json .json convert,
Newtonsoft.json.json convert. Interesting.
and the method name is deserialize X node.
That's Signal R protocol. Signal R. That's. Give me another moment. Let's see here. I'm just going to do a few keyword searches and see if it comes up under something else, if it just got renamed. JSON serialized. JSON node?
It shouldn't be in system. It should be in Newtonsoft library.
Interesting. I'm just wondering if it got classified incorrectly or something. That's just what I'm wondering with that, you know. But I feel like it make read only now that JSON document runs. It wouldn't be parse, node options, reader. Yeah, that. I don't see anything listed under Newtonsoft. JSON patch. Interesting. Yeah. Would you mind putting that exact list into the QA that you shared with me, just so I have a quick place to copy it? That exact path. Let me get my notepad up real quick. Thank you. All right, grabbing that. And then, and this was in version 8 and not V9. You know, this, I'm not sure if this affects it, but this version of V9 runs on a different version of .NET than V8.
But that's fine because you're using the same Newtonsoft library. Well, updated, but it's being updated for .NET Core, this version.
Okay.
And when I export that from version 8 to version 9, it still works. So it's still
Oh, you're
there.
right. Yeah, if it still works, then it wouldn't have been removed from the .NET version. Otherwise, that would have been a problem. Okay, so .NET 9 supports it. What version of 8 exactly? I want to know what .NET version we're coming from.
I do not remember. I would say 8.17, something like
8.17.
that.
Ah, so that's right on the verge of the conversion from .7 to .8. I'll check our documentation here real quick. So, installation, prereqs, .NET versions. Yeah, because 8.16 is .NET 7, 8.17 is .NET 8. So it's one of those two.
But
And then
again,
we'll be
it's still running on 9.
exactly. No, I just want to understand where we're coming from. I'm just trying to get all the details, you know, because they asked me for details. I want to give details. Okay. I will present that question to them and I will get back to you with an answer. Whether it's conclusive or not, I'll at least let you know what I find.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, that is all of the questions that we have. I haven't seen our QA questions come up during that time, so I think we're going to end it early, 10 minutes early. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate y'all attending.